What is going on, guys? It's Rick back with another video, and today I bring you round 5 of my chess open. Round 4 I played against a 0 elo rated opponent, and the game wasn't that interesting, to be honest, and I decided to not include it in. But I want to know if you guys like to see my games against like 0 elo rated opponents, or if you just want me to skip them, because some of them are interesting, some of them are not that interesting at all. But yeah, it's up to you guys. If you guys really want to see like every match that I play, even against like 0 elo rated opponents where it doesn't really affect my elo, I can show you guys for sure. But if you guys don't mind me skipping some games, if they are not that interesting, I'll also skip some games and try to bring you the really good ones. But yeah, so round 5 here, I got paired up against Tuan. I'm not gonna say surname because I can't pronounce that. But yeah, he's a 1922 elo rated player, and that is kind of high, not gonna lie. But this tournament I either faced someone 0 elo or someone way higher than me. But yeah, so I had the white pieces and I opened with d4. It went for knight f6, knight c3, d5, and bishop f4. So we have the Joe Bava London. I decided to go for the Joe Bava London again. As you guys saw in the last video, I had the white pieces against Nicola WFM from Austria, and I ended up playing the normal London and kind of regretted a bit because I like the Joe Bava London is more aggressive, is more confrontational, and I kind of get to have a more complicated game, which I like. But yeah, it goes e6, I go knight b5. This is a line. Knight e6, e3, c6, knight c3 again. So we basically, with this line, I think I've already explained it, but just a quick recap. We do this knight b5. We know that it's not gonna work, like our opponent is gonna defend c7, but the argument that one makes for this decision of going knight b5 and back to c3 is that we kind of misplayed this knight, and yeah, maybe c6 isn't really the move that he wants to be playing. He probably wants to go like c5 and put a knight on c6. So yeah, this is kind of misplacing the knight on a6, and that's the argument, and keep developing. So yeah, I went knight c3, and he goes queen a5. Here, queen a5, I've never seen this move. I was a bit confused, but I thought that maybe he wants to play bishop b4 and put more pressure on c3. So I played a3 here to stop this idea. He went b5, so pretty just straightforward, just going for my throat, just pushing all the pawns on the queen side. The computer hates this for black because it just feels like it's way too premature to be pushing pawns on the queen side when you're not even like developed at all. So yeah, I go bishop d3, just simple development. He goes bishop e7, knight f3, and here he goes queen b6. So yeah, queen b6, I guess he wants to defend c6 in case I go knight e5. But yeah, I feel like he wasted a lot of time here in the opening. I don't really know what that queen a5 b5 thing was, and now I'm fully developed and I'm ready to start putting pressure on his position. He goes b4 right away. Doesn't even castle, which I think is bad, because now I get knight a4 with tempo. I wasn't too worried about queen a5 because I thought that I could always like take here on b4 and I would be fine. And he played queen b7 here, and yeah, I don't know, like he's just moving his queen a lot, and you know what they say, opening principles: don't move the same piece twice or 3 times or whatever. And I already moved the queen like what, 3 4 times. So yeah, this definitely isn't working out well for him. So here, I mean, I take, which, yeah, the computer doesn't love it, uh, but I decided that I wanted to take here. It takes the queen, and I take this pawn. And after bishop takes, c3 here, attacking the bishop, and when he goes back, my idea uh, is to simply play around his weak squares, so try to get a knight on c5, get my knight to e5 as well. So here I play knight e5, which is nice, attacking the c6 pawn, e castles, and here I go b4, which is a fantastic move, I mean, because, you know, I really want to highlight this weakness from my opponent's c6 pawn. I'm attacking it already, and I want to put a knight on c5, and if he takes, if he gives up his good bishop, I'll just take with the b pawn, and this pawn will be weak forever, and then I can play along the b file and have all the fun in the world, pretty much. Just need to watch out for some knight e4, but I can always go queen c2. So yeah, here he goes queen b5, trying to blockade my b pawn, I guess. I went queen c2 just because of this. I wanted to connect the rooks, and also this idea of the knight coming to e4. I wanted to be prepared for it and maybe play f3. He goes knight e4 here, and I went f3, which was my idea all along. Here, the computer doesn't love it because my opponent gets some counterplay with f6, and it starts, even though I'm fine, it starts getting complicated, like way too complicated, with now the computer wants like c4, and this is already not what I wanted, because it will be very chaotic here. But yeah, the computer just wanted straight knight c5 here. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't do this. Guess I don't really know why. I guess I didn't really want him to just be able to take like this. But yeah, this is fantastic for me still. No, nothing to worry about. I'm completely winning positionally here. But I ended up going for f3, which, I mean, I guess is fine. He goes knight d6. I go knight c5 now, so he can't take with the knight. He can take my knight. Here he goes rook d8, and yeah, it just allows me to play rook a5 with tempo, and he goes queen b6, and this position is just, you know, it's just perfect for me. I have, my knights are in perfect position, like my structure is way better than his, my pieces are way better placed, I'm active, I like, this is already like plus 2.5, and we have equal material. So you know, when the computer gives a huge advantage and the material is equal, you know that a huge positional advantage is in place. So here I struggled a little bit to find sort of the right plan. I played knight a4, which, you know, attacks the queen, but here it just goes back to b7. Here, as I said, I didn't really know how to continue, so I played knight c5 here to see if he was gonna repeat here, and he did. Went queen b6 here, and yeah, the computer just wants me to play queen a4, attacking this pawn, which is very, very logical. It makes a lot of sense because, you know, but yeah, I played knight a4 here, and he played queen b7, and now the problem is that if I go knight c5, he can claim a draw by threefold repetition. And you know, I thought about it. I thought, should I take the draw? Should I not take the draw? Should I keep playing and try to find another move? And yeah, I thought to myself, I mean, I have an amazing position here, and if I don't play this position for a win, it's just very weak and not ambitious at all for me, and I would not be able to honestly sleep well at night knowing that I took a draw in a completely winning position. So yeah, I decided to be brave and I played knight b2, knowing that knight b2 was probably not the best move, but it had to be done to avoid the threefold repetition. Here he played f6, so straight away counter-attacking. I go knight d3, he goes bishop f8, and now I double the rooks. Rook a1, he goes queen f7 here, trying to transfer the queen to the king side and get some counterplay, which is very nice. Here I just go knight c5, put my knight on the perfect square there on c5. He goes g5, so yeah, he wants the fight for sure. Here I played bishop g3. The computer wants me to just trade, you know. But yeah, I'm not too sure about this because, I see that his queen is coming to h5, he's getting pressure on h2. Yeah, I don't like to allow this. So I played bishop g3. I thought it was better. He goes knight f5 with tempo. I go bishop f2. And here he goes bishop d6. So you can see that he's starting to get a lot of counterplay. And I need to keep going and not stop with the initiative. So here I go e4. I thought it was very important to not just... even though the computer says nothing is happening and I could go knight bd3, I didn't really like the fact that he had something like this, can't even play something like this because I just lose here. So yeah, it's the computer is just wants h3, but h3, man, I don't see this really working. Maybe just brings the knight out, or he just plays e5, opens his bishop up. Yeah, it's really hard to move pawns in front of your king when you're getting attacked, I felt like knight bd3 would be slow, so I just went e4, challenging his knight and opening the center up. He goes knight g7 here, so he just moves the knight away, and here I play queen a4. So I start attacking his pawns, attacking c6, and here he goes queen h5. So here I was already I was nervous for sure because it was not gonna be easy to win this. I knew that I had to be better because just look at my pieces, but still I had to deal with his attack, with his counter attack, and it was kind of nerve-wracking. But I managed to keep my cool and I played bishop g3, just challenging the bishop. If he takes, I'm happy to take, and my king will be pretty safe on g1. So he plays g4. G4 is just a bad move, but he's just going all in, and yeah, I kind of got a bit scared about this g4 because even though objectively it's bad, you still have to be cold-blooded and just calculate everything correctly. And sometimes in these games I just want to be practical. But yeah, here the computer just wants to take, and I guess you can take on, you can even take here, queen takes, and probably take on a7. Yeah, taking on a7, it's fine. And but yeah, this is kind of scary because my king is just alone here, but I guess he just doesn't really have time to get counterplay and mate me. But yeah, I decided to go f4, so I just wanted to shut everything down here and not allow him to open things. And he goes e5, which is also bad. But here the computer, wants to take on c5. But here I don't think this... if I saw this on the board, even though he can take here, I would be very happy to, probably just take on a7 or play knight c4, and I would be totally fine with being down a pawn when I'm just... he doesn't have anything, and I still have a great position. But yeah, he played e5, I guess, also just going for it, threatening to take on f4, so I just traded everything on e5, and here I finally took the bishop. It takes with the queen, and here I just took the pawn on c6. So I calculated this, and I thought, okay, this has to be good, and it's a good way to simplify the position. And indeed it was. So it did what I expected. It took on c3, just letting me take his rook on a8. It takes my knight on b2, and here I just play rook takes on a7, just taking everything that I can. Computer wanted me to play rook f1, but I didn't really like this because I would just allow queen takes b4. And yeah, even though like after queen a7 the computer says everything is fine, I just thought that I could just take on a7. I would be fine. He goes rook f8, which I got a bit scared, to be honest. But yeah, fortunately, the move that I played works, which is just queen takes d5. And here, the only problem would be bishop e6 if it worked, but thankfully bishop e6 fails to this nice tactic. Rook takes on g7, and after queen takes, not this, whoa, no, but this, and yeah, I'm just completely winning. But he didn't play that. He played king h8, which it is a worse move technically, but it's practically speaking probably the best move to keep trying something. Here the engine already says plus 11, but I was still nervous because you still have to put you still have to take down these guys. You can't just be winning and call it a day. You have to really shut them down and just mate them. I go knight d3, attacking the queen, also protecting the f2 square. He goes queen f6, and I go queen e5. I was like, let me just trade queens and win this. Literally up an exchange and a pawn, or 2 pawns actually. Yeah, I'm up an exchange and 2 pawns, and he goes here queen b6, and I go knight c5, just blocking the check with the knight, bringing another piece into the attack. He goes queen h6 here, and I was like, I really just wanted to simplify. Also, we were kind of getting lower on time. I would say that we were probably below 10 minutes right now, and for me that's already an issue to be below 10 minutes. And here I just simplified. I just took on g7. The computer just wants me to chill and play queen d4. Such a beautiful move actually, because I'm protecting everything, keeping an eye on g7, keeping an eye on a1, also stopping queen e3. And if you look at this position, it doesn't really have moves. So yeah, the computer says king g8, but yeah, I could just simply do something like rook f1, and after it takes, I mean, it doesn't have anything. I can just bring up my king, and it would be GG's. But I decided to simplify because I thought that the endgame was also winning, and I was confident about it. So I just took it takes, and I play rook a7 check. It goes king g6. Yeah, and I just push b5. And here, hey, it doesn't have much. Even though he's only down 2 pawns, I mean, these pawns are way too advanced. My pieces are active, and yeah, it's hard to suggest a move here. So he goes rook d8 here, and I play b6, just pushing the pawn. And now, how is he gonna stop promotion? He goes rook d1 check. I go king f2. He goes rook b1, and here, I mean, I just push. There's nothing more to say. He has to sack the bishop. He gives a check first, and he sacks the bishop. I mean, if he tries to keep the bishop, I don't know. He can't even keep the bishop because there's no squares for him to to go with the bishop. So yeah, my pieces are just perfectly placed. Rook b2, king g3, and he takes the pawn on b7, sacking the piece. Take. And here, you know, I mean, I will uh, I will go fast here. There's nothing much to say, just a matter of technique, which I kind of struggle a little bit to finish off the game here. Here he goes h5 because I'm threatening to give a check here, and you know, let's say he just goes, I don't know, rook f2. I can give a check on b8, and only move is king f7, and then I give a check on f8 and I win the rook. So that's what I was threatening, but he plays yeah, he plays h5 here, and I go rook g7. I take this pawn, and yeah, here I was just trying to figure out how I was gonna do, but yeah, I guess my opponent just realized, okay, I'm not winning, and this is just probably a waste of time here. I thought that it was gonna play something like rook a5, and here I don't know. I mean, probably just block with the knight and try to keep pushing the pawn somehow. Bring the king up or something like that. King to the side, maybe check. I don't know. It was still not easy for me to just cleanly win this game. But yeah, I probably could just sacrifice this pawn, cut off the king, and just push this pawn, honestly. But yeah, it was low on time, and I was just trying to make moves, you know. But yeah, here he just played rook a6, and yeah, this is just allowing me to trade rooks, and it's GG, and he resigned here. So yes, this was the highest rated player that I've ever beaten. I was so happy, you know. I left, you know, my opponent didn't even sign the score sheets. He was so mad that he got destroyed by a 1400 that he just left. He didn't even sign the papers. And honestly, after the game, when I just left the hall, I was just like arms to the sky, you know, fist pumping, and just so happy that I finally in this turn managed to win against a higher rated opponent. You know, it's been quite a journey to defeat such a higher rated opponent, and I'm very happy that I did it in this style with the Joe Babylon. Very nice, you know. Yeah, it was a very nice game, I guess, and yeah, the highest rated player that I've beaten before was 1800. So yeah, just beating a 1900 is it's very good. And next step is going to be trying to defeat a 2000, which it's gonna take a while for sure. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.